For our opener tonight, we have a girl by the name of Laura Mae Paré, and she is all the way from Chicago. She drove to be here, and she killed in the first show, and she's just an incredible person. And so I want you guys to do us a favor and welcome her more than you have ever welcomed anyone. All right, so give it up for Laura Mae Paré tonight.
Right with the rest of the world in height, sing for church. Always. No, it's pretty wicked, actually, that somebody like Anita Renfroe would have me open for them and then have you practice laughing first. Pretend you're laughing at Anita. We're gonna bring out a girl that you've never met. She's really sort of funny, but we want to make sure you laugh really hard at Anita's jokes later. So we're going to have this no-name come out first. After you practice laughing, need a break, go ahead and catch your breath. She told me to go for 10 minutes. You know why? Because that's how long it'll take you guys to recover, and then you can laugh at her stuff again. That's not even right. It's okay, because I'm not even a comedian, really. God has told me, in other words, he doesn't speak to me audibly, but the definition of comedy is tragedy plus time. I've had a really tragic life. God said it's time to tell people about it. In fact, I'm going to set you up with something like Anita Renfroe, and then you can go and tell all of them about your tragic life. So, I try to get away. Does anybody ever try to get away from God's calling for their life? I can go do this over here. No, actually, no. I'm going to have you drive 15 hours for 10 minutes, and then you're going to turn around the next day and go home. Isn't that God's plan in action? Traveling with my 1-year-old. He's so funny. I'm not even really a comedian. I sort of ended up here. I am the other half of the Christian Comedy Chicks, and so I started as a musician for them, and I wrote parodies, because that's what I do, and all of a sudden they threw me on stage and said, you need to be on stage, and I said, no I don't. I'm safe right behind the piano, leave me there. They didn't. They don't listen as well as God doesn't listen, so here I am. Welcome. No, I'm actually a social media manager, and Anita loves public service announcements. I'm here with a few social media public service announcements. If your last meal doesn't warrant a phone call to your neighbor, then don't put it on Facebook. I don't care what you had for breakfast. Am I supposed to like that? What are you looking for? People do not post things on Facebook unless they want a like, right? What am I supposed to like? Your cinnamon toast bagel? Okay, no, I can't bring myself to do it. I don't care how popular you want to be, I can't do it. Also, hashtags. In case you didn't know, hashtags, those will help group conversations. So if I hashtag Anita Renfroe, I can go back to Facebook later and find everybody that was at the show. As long as they hashtag Anita Renfroe, I can type that in my little Facebook engine search bar, and I can find everybody who is hashtagged Anita Renfroe. I don't mind profitable hashtags. But when you find ones like track my prunes, people are taking selfies with their food, right? They're like, always. And then later, you know, they're like, oh, after the party, you know. And then later, I would not lie about this. Have you ever seen selfies? Oops, we see the toilet. Have you seen it? And if you haven't seen it, it circulates on Facebook. I promise you, it does. They're like, oh, check out the girl, and they circle the toilet. Didn't know there was a mirror in the bathroom, did ya? Track my prunes. So I'm a social media manager. I also deal with Twitter, which is the world of if we all stand together, we'll look popular. Do you know what I'm saying? How many of you are Twitter people? Okay, nobody. Awesome. Okay, so like the 4 of you over here, I'm going to give you some feedback. The rest of you just tune me out. That's okay. Or do I not even say it? Come on. No Twitter people. Okay, so if somebody has 10,000 followers, followers, right? Then you look, you're like, wow, but they're following 25,000. That's why I say, like, hey, if you follow me, I'll follow you, and we'll all pretend like we're popular. I'm not impressed. Those people who have 8 billion followers and they follow too, those people have my props. People care about what they're doing. They care. No, but I am also the mother of 5, and I have a 12-year-old daughter. I have 10 and 9-year-old boys, a 5-year-old girl, and a 1-year-old boy, which I did mention traveled with us. Thank you, Jesus, that was funny. Traveling with kids isn't always so bad. I left the other 4 at my parents' this weekend, and when I went to Michigan for the 4th of July, I actually traveled with all of them, and it's always comical, especially when you travel without your husband, because then people are like, oh, look at her, she's like 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? They all have the last name. That's what I want to say. What do I say? Nothing. Mother duck just walks. And as they count, and they whisper. So we're at the rest stop. And when you're the mother of 1, you carry everything into the rest stop. By 5, you're like, okay, debit card, back pocket, phone, back pocket. I do not need the whole diaper bag, Helen, put it back. I need 1 diaper. All I need is 1. You can even pull out wipes. I don't care, pull out two wipes in case you pooped. 2. So we're going in, we eat real quick, we go into the rest stop, and I get to the bathroom and I have my debit card and my phone and my wipes and no diaper. I said, okay, we'll just head outside. It's gotta, we dropped it somewhere. So I just talk. When I think something, it just comes out. So I walk out of the rest stop and it's packed because it's an oasis, and I see the diaper laying on the ground. I was like, oh, there it is. And all of a sudden, everyone on this side of the sidewalk and everyone on that side of the sidewalk who had previously been going, they went. I had 2 choices in that moment. One of them was to discreetly walk away with any dignity I had left. The other option was make them remember me. So, I looked at the diaper, and I looked at my kids, I go, would one of you go grab that? That looks like Gideon size, and it's not even used! Go see! My 12-year-old looked at me like I had just asked her to take her father to the Bronx. And she goes, Mommy, are you serious? I said, yes, I'm serious. I paid for that diaper. Go pick it up. She goes and picks it up. I go, I think they don't fit. Let's go to the car and change him. And all the people on the side went, oh, shit. Shit. They probably all do have last names that are different. You know, my husband is really supportive. Do any of you have really supportive husbands? So we drive 15 hours here with our 1-year-old because he watched the Anita Best Of collection, her YouTube video that shows her on CNN, the New York Times bestseller with Kathy Lee and Huda. And so he's watching that video and he's like, wow, this is a really cool opportunity. Like, how did you get it? I said, honey, maybe God? I don't know, like David and Goliath, maybe? And he says, so we're driving down here, and he actually says, hey, he's telling his boss, like, wow, it's a fantastic opportunity for my wife, I can't believe it. And then we get down here, and last night, he's like, I'm like kind of itching all over. And I go, about what? Like, did you eat something? He goes, no, I'm getting hives. I said, from what? He goes, you're going on stage tomorrow to tell jokes, and you're not funny. He said, I've been married to you for 13 years, and honey, you have a lot of gifts, but that's not one of them. I said, you have never even seen me on stage. That's not fair, because you won't watch the YouTube stuff either. He says, I just prefer to not know. Okay? So they are funny. They have like 700 views. Stop it. Given my genre, that's good. Oh, so last night he didn't stop there with the encouragement. He said, honey, isn't that kind of like if Billy Graham ask me to open for him? He says, I have a Bible degree, but, like, what would I say? Have you heard the one about Jesus? And then I thought we were done, I thought we were going to sleep, and a couple minutes later he goes, isn't that kind of like Lexus selling lawnmowers on their lot? I smiled, because I'm submissive. A few minutes later, the baby fusses, and apparently he thinks, well, she must still be up. I'll go ahead and throw this one at her. That's kind of like a Starbucks going to 7-Eleven for coffee. And they kept going. He goes, it's kind of like the ESPN channel liking the PBS channel on Facebook. I said, honey, you're not being fair. He said, no, I'm being honest, and we gotta stay married. I think I'm gonna stay at the hotel with Gideon. He says, what are you gonna do if you bomb? And I said, well, there's always a 7 o'clock show. And he goes, yeah, but like, what if you bomb them both? I go, well, I'm sure we'll have lots of time to talk about it on the way home, won't we? So, how many of you are done? Just done with Frozen parodies? That. I didn't. That's the Holy Spirit working. Thank you. Thank you. No, I starting out, when you only have 700 views on your YouTube video, you don't have money for fancy teleprompters and stuff, so you make notes on the way here. And so I have a little song, and I guarantee it's a Frozen parody you have not heard. And I made it about Anita, so you'll love it. Right? We'll see. The notes didn't even help me last, so I still messed up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's DVD taping night, except not for me. I don't get any edits. I don't have a team to make me look good and sell it. It's like whatever I get goes on YouTube. Thanks. So, I appreciate you all laughing. You're very kind. I'll pay you on the way out. I think we're just going to see what happens.